So what if your favorite starter Pokemon had a different typing? That is the question that we're going to explore today, but totally at random. That's right, I have these nifty wheel picker random generators online. In it are every basic stage starter from generations 1 through 8, so 24 possibilities. And then on this wheel, we have the 3 elemental starting types. So what we're going to do is spin the wheel, get a starter, and then we're going to spin this wheel, and as long as it's one of the 2 types that the Pokemon already isn't, we are going to create that Pokemon in a brand new type, almost like a regional form. It'll be a good exercise in creativity, and hopefully along the way we can create some fun alternate starter Pokemon, again, that are like regional forms, so their concepts will be different, we'll come up with some fun lore. It'll be great, and we're not including Generation 9 because we don't know what the final starters look like, and I don't want to speculate and draw an alternate type. Because we're not only going to be drawing the basic stage starter, but also their final stage. And if that final stage has a secondary type, we're going to be incorporating that as well. For example, if we land on Chimchar as a water type, we'll not only be drawing water type Chimchar, but we'll be drawing water fighting Infernape. So I think that'll be a lot of fun and give us a little bit more guidance when it comes to the designs and where to take them. So I've said enough, let's get this going and spin our first Pokemon of the day. Alright, we are working with Scorbunny. Alright, not a favorite of mine. Well, we're not working with a dual type, we're just working with a very strong soccer player motif, which is hard to shake, but maybe we can do something else, another kind of sport, depending on the type. That would actually be good if we could switch up the sport in the final version, depending on water or grass, we'll see. And it's going to be grass type. Alright, instead of doing soccer, we do another sport. How does baseball sound? Yeah, we could do like a fun, a wooden baseball bat that Cinderace carries around. I'm usually against final stages carrying around weapons, but we're making a regional form, essentially. This can be very themed, it's fine. We can give it kind of fun patterns that are very baseball-y, like baseball pants, hats, those kind of the eye black that they wear. Of course, it'll carry the bat, and we can de-emphasize its feet, so it's less about kicking and more about throwing or something. So we'll just switch up the proportions a little bit. I think that'll be good. Introducing Unovan's Scorbunny, the Root Rabbit Pokemon. These Pokemon were brought to the Unova region by Galarian settlers as stowaways on passenger ships. In these settlers' fields, these Pokemon burrowed homes in the rich soil and began soaking up nutrients, thus explaining their grass type. They are detested by adults for being nuisances and destroying gardens, but children love these Pokemon for their playful attitudes and companionship. They are sometimes kept indoors, but they need a steady supply of fresh vegetables to stay happy and healthy, otherwise they will destroy and chew anything in sight. These Pokemon are fairly frail compared to their evolutions, so they have retained their quick reflexes while developing a habit of both kicking and throwing soil at foes while they run away. So I committed to making all of today's Pokemon full-on regional forms, and I rationalized this Scorbunny to be a Unovan variant. It made sense, as Galar likely colonized Unova the same way real-life England colonized North America. Thus, I can see these Pokemon having a significant role in rural Unova to this day as now endemic pests in gardens near Mistralton City, Icarus City, Anvil Town, and around the village bridge. Plus, the fact that these guys are found in Unova is crucial to the sport I'm going to have them specialize in, instead of soccer. In terms of design, I try to prioritize the root element to signify that these guys are the basic stage, before they essentially sprout more complex plant elements to their designs. It's always hard making a mammalian Pokemon a grass type, to be honest, but I also wanted these root ears to show how they would easily blend into gardens, which is their preferred hangout spot. I also threw in some veggie green stripes under the eyes and mud elements to look like either a gardener's trousers or the pants and cleats of a certain sport, also to show how these Pokemon tussle around in the soil, hence their athletic nature. So now let's see how we chose to iterate on this Pokemon with the following design. Well, like I said, I thought baseball would work great as a sport due to the natural tie-in with Unova, not only because it's based off of New York City, but because we literally see baseball being played in Nimbasa City in black and white, one of the few real-life sports in the Pokémon franchise, so it seemed like a natural fit to iterate further on the Scorbunny variant by extending those root elements and mud elements to look like a baseball uniform. Introducing Unova Cinderace, the shortstop Pokémon. Unova and Cinderace are just as athletic as their Galarian counterparts, but somewhat more humble. They use their muscular, muddy feet to run away from foes, but they can use their oversized paws to strike foes or to get a good grip on a massive ball of soil, which they can throw with great velocity. They can blend in easily with any garden due to their padding and fur patterns, where they collect fruits, veggies, and soil to eat and play their favorite games with. Despite their occasional interference with human habitations, these Pokémon are known as great team players and love to interact with other Pokémon. In modern Unova, they're commonly enlisted to play sports at big stadium on even human teams. So I iterated further on the vegetable padding I gave Scorbunny to look like a V-neck baseball uniform with full-on carrot pants. I also made those mud patterns more detailed, to allude to baseball cleats as well as the mitts of a baseball glove. Hence why this Pokémon can throw mud and soil so well, since its specialty has now changed. I always love when regional forms have one clear, distinct twist on a Pokémon's concept to set it apart, and here, Cinderace has big paws for throwing grass, to contrast Galarian Cinderace's big feet for kicking fire. Also, Galarian Cinderace represents real-life UK's national sport, while Unova Cinderace represents real-life New York and America's national pastime, baseball. I also think this is a subtle way to show the baseball tie-in without the Pokémon outright carrying a wooden bat, like I initially thought of. Let me know what you think of this design, because I'm pretty happy with its fun colors and overall improvement on a humanoid starter that I never really cared for. Fennekin! Alright, so we're going with a fire type now, and it'll be grass or water. Let's see. Fire, we gotta respin. Water. Alright, so we're creating a water type Fennekin. Oh man, that is going to be interesting. The good thing here is that Fennekin has a secondary type, or at least its evolution Delphox does, so we're going to be creating a water psychic Pokemon, which I think is cool, and that'll give us a lot of guidance in terms of where to take this. We could create like a swampy witchcraft Pokemon. I think it has those big ear tufts. Why don't we turn those into like reeds or algae or something kind of swampy to make it look like a, you know, a witch living in a swamp? I think we could create something really spooky and really cool here. Introducing Galarian Fennekin, the Hex Bubble Pokemon. These Pokemon live in the cool, swampy marshes of Galar's wild area. They spend most of their time in these murky waters or on muddy lake shores, where it fills up its ears with water, stored in bubbles. This water can be used to deter foes with forceful jets, or they can be used to blow bubbles that seem to disorient or knock out foes with a mysterious power. Their tails also contain a sizable volume of water, which is mainly a concoction of polluted or otherwise stagnant liquid. These tail waters are also used in defense on occasion. For this reason, wild area rangers love Fennekin's presence for their ability to purify bodies of water and keep them habitable for a wide variety of Pokemon species. So I always knew I would create a twist on Fennekin here that is a bit more unfamiliar than the average water starter, which generally represents seawater, or generally clean water. I wanted to make something a bit more ambiguous, one that could almost look like a poison or a grass type as well. I thought of the ideas on the bubbles on the ears as the main focus, the same way Collision Fennekin has fiery ear tufts. Here in Galar, these bubbles are swampy, and can be used in an almost toxic way as a defense mechanism in the dangerous wild area. I think this Pokemon fits well into the foggy, desolate moors, marshes, and lochs, found all over the beautiful Isle of Great Britain. And if you couldn't tell, we're going to be expanding more on the Pokemon's secondary element greatly, which is the concept of psychic magic. That's right, to represent the psychic type, why don't we turn from the more noble pyromagic seen with Collision Delphox and turn to something a bit more sinister. After all, swamps are commonly associated with dark magic, creepy witches, voodoo, and all sorts of things. There's just something so fitting about the landscape that influenced so many world cultures to associate swamps as something creepy, something to stay away from. Plus, this version of Delphox is from Galar after all, a place with no shortage of fairy tales about sinister water spirits, full of witches. Introducing Galarian Delphox, the Swamp Mage Pokemon. If you ever disturb one of these Pokemon in the foggy moors they call home, run. Galarian Delphox are known for their ruthless incantations that they cast on foes using dark magic, derived from ghost-type Pokemon relics and other objects. They collect these and carry them to enhance their own power. The strongest of Galarian Delphox are capable of warping reality around itself to trap those seeking to escape. However, undisturbed, these Pokemon are fairly docile. They lead quiet lives in the huts that they build on the shores of swamps. They are adept at swimming if needed, to find objects deep within the murky depths. They prefer to avoid contact with humans entirely, since Galarian villages persecuted these Pokemon in ancient times due to their fear of magic. So Galarian Delphox is a full-on swamp sorcerer. I made the fur a bit droopier to look like clumps of seaweed, or generally marshy plants, as you can see in its ear tufts and long flowing gown meant to look generally worn, like this Pokemon truly inhabits the harshest of swamps. I wanted to make this Pokemon not too scary, but just off-putting enough to emphasize that strained relationship with humans, just like in real-life England in the Middle Ages, where anyone, especially women associated with witchcraft, were tortured in horrible ways. This Pokemon would have a similar relationship, where its magic was feared by the locals of Dark Age Galar, and this highly intelligent Pokemon was banished to the moors for good. I also wanted to make this Pokemon carry ropes, reeds, and vines all over its body to make this design feel a bit more full and pay homage to both West African and Haitian voodoo, forms of religion heavily associated with black magic, witchcraft, or sorcery, due to its emphasis on channeling energy or spirits through the use of objects or charms. Hence, this Delphox brandishes bones and a skull, one of Cubone, one of the most iconic Pokemon skulls that's associated with death. Overall, I'm very proud of this design, one of the most complex but effective regional forms that I think I've made, and one that really energizes me to continue this series with even more twists on iconic starter lines. Let me know what you think. Alright, and that is going to do it for today's challenge video. I really hope you enjoyed this. I will be back doing this again, hopefully, because it was a lot of fun. Excuse the awkward post-production transition, but I just completed a fantastic podcast-style video with fellow PokeTuber friend Dusty Gogoat. In the video, which you can find on his channel and linked down below, he and I break down the possibility of Kalos appearing in the postgame of Scarlet and Violet, and we speculate what that would look like. Please go check that out, because we took a deep dive into this topic, and it's the first of many exciting collaborations between our two channels. Also, as you can see behind me, this is the new studio, and this is probably what it's going to look like for a while. I'm still setting stuff up, but I do want to do a studio tour, and I will be starting to stream soon, which is exciting, so stay tuned for that. And that just about wraps it up for today, so we will see you next time, won't we? We need a bath.